Hi, my name is Monse from PhotoBooth 101. I'm here today with Jennifer Cruz, social media strategist and branding expert.
Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer Cruz and I'm a bilingual social media marketer with 8 years of experience. I've been managing high profile clients within the CPG, entertainment, and retail space.
We're so excited you're here today to
Thank
share
you.
some
I'm
wisdom.
excited to be here.
So I know everyone knows that social media is important, of course. Everyone has one, everyone's got one, everyone wants one, right? But why is it important for your business? Even if it's a small business, you're just opening, even for yourself, like why is it important?
I think it's important for so many reasons. Like one, you mentioned that so many people have access to cell phones now. Like we're living in a digital world, and that's something to take into consideration, that we all have that accessible for the most part. A second one would be to be able to promote your products. I think it's a really great opportunity to be able to bring awareness on what you have to provide and what you can do for people, especially if they have it easily accessible on their phones. It's also a great opportunity for you to be able to build a relationship with your clients. It's so easy to like communicate with it on social. We all do, we comment within each other, and I think that's a great place for you to be able to create that connection with them. And another reason why it's important, it's because you also get to learn about your product and what people are saying about it. So if you're there, people will have these types of conversations, and that will allow you to kind of do research on your product, see what people are doing, what you can change, what you can't change, what you're doing correctly, so that you can continue to do it.
That makes sense. Would you say branding is a big, I guess, aspect in social media?
Definitely. I think branding is the identity of what your company is. So you get that opportunity when you create one to tell people, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, and for people to fall in love with what you have to provide. Like what makes you different from other people? Like why would I want to buy from you and not someone else? And I think that's an opportunity when you create a really great brand to be able to share who you are, your values, and your mission to other people.
Yeah, I get that. We always tell like our customers, show your face. Like people want to see who they're like renting from. Like who's this photo booth owner? Why would I want to rent from them? So we always like encourage them to kind of do like a little about me, have themselves in the videos as well, and like or in the photos. So that's a really good tip. Thank you.
No, and you bring up a good point, because I think people fall in love with people.
The person.
Yeah. Like even when you think of like high profile brands like Coke or like Nike, like why do people like those brands? Like you like the campaigns that they do. And I think sometimes people confuse like branding with marketing. Like branding is your identity, and what you do in marketing is the tactics that you use to be able to let people know what your brand is.
Yeah. Well, in your experience, what's the right like cadence? Like we always tell our customers, like, hey, you gotta post, you gotta be consistent, post every day if you can. But like, what would you say is the sweet spot, or what would you recommend new photo booth owners to start posting?
I think ideally we would all want to post so much, right? But like being a small business owner, you just don't have the bandwidth to be able to do that. And sometimes we want to show up on every trend and we want to do everything. And I think it's important to really establish your strategy and who you are as a company. You won't always be able to be on all the platforms. Like try to choose one where you know your audience lives. Like if you're trying to target a specific people, be like, well, this specific demographic, where and age, like what platform are they on, right? So go based on that and choose and try to put all your energy on those specific platforms. I think sometimes we want to be on everything, and then we start off with like 6 platforms, and then we're like, wait, how am I going to post here? And then not every platform is built the same, and you need to have a strategy for each one. Sure. So I think it's important to just focus on 1 or 2 that where your audience lies. And as far as consistency, it's super, super important to be able to do that. You're building trust with a community, right? If you showed up once a month, like why would anybody want to purchase from you if you're not even showing up for your own company, I feel like. Yeah. And then also another one would be like, things are constantly changing, and when you post consistently, you're top of mind for clients, right? Maybe they might not need you in that moment, but let's say that specific, then and next month it's somebody's birthday and you posted consistently, they'll be like, oh, you know what? I always see this photo booth company that pops up, and you'll remember them because they're consistently posting. Or maybe that day you just so happen to land on their page and they're like, oh my God, yes, like them. Like I totally forgot. And then they send it over to a friend. Like it's very, very important to show up. And then as far as like publishing, I think it's important to kind of know your capabilities and what you're able to do. It's better to do less than more and of quality than quantity. So I would recommend like a minimum at least of 3 to be able to like kind of be there throughout the week.
Yeah.
But like try to make it like with the best intention and the quality that you're able to provide for that. But at the end of the day, like if you're able to post more, look at like, for example, Instagram. They give you metrics on what time your audience is on and what days. Like, why don't you just post the 3 days where you notice that your audience is mostly on and at those specific times, so that you show up when your audience is there instead of just showing up on a day. Like, I don't know, if a Sunday doesn't work and they're busy and you show up, it might not get as much views.
And you know what's so great about Instagram now? That they let you, like, what's it called? Schedule your post now.
Yes, oh my God, such a lifesaver.
Yeah, like, I remember doing this on Hootsuite. Like,
yes, oh my God, yes, I remember Hootsuite.
You don't even need to do that anymore. Like,
yes, and you can schedule stories too. It doesn't have super amount of capabilities, but it's something and it's helpful.
Yeah, so, like, I guess, like, if you have time at night to draft a post and, like, just be really mindful about what you're saying, just, you know, take your time on it, you can schedule it for when, you know, your audience is live. So I love that. There was one, I always tell my husband it, and he tells our clients, but it's just because when I started, obviously, in PR, I would be like, oh, well, if you can't swipe 3 times and there's still content in there, like, they're still new, or, like, they're barely starting off. So, you know, that's why we say, like, post a lot, but then, of course, be mindful afterwards on what you're posting, when you're posting, and just show yourself. So, yeah,
and you know what? Like, speaking of, like, writing captions and the amount of posts, I think, like, a pro tip would be, like, think about when you're creating content and where you're going to make like, promote yourself, what would someone Google or search up to find me?
Yeah.
And try to incorporate those keywords within your, like, caption or your video, or so that, one, like, and this is like a completely different topic, but like the platform will, like, from an algorithm perspective, pick up those keywords and categorize your video for that when someone searches it up. So that'll be good for views, and maybe like in that moment it'll get like 10 views, but if it's like good quality content and something that someone would Google, then later, like, they'll search it up and it'll continue to gain traction. So it kind of goes back to, like, make sure you do it with, like, a good intention. And like the quality over quantity part.
It's crazy how the algorithm works now, huh? How you can Google something and it's really important for you to write the right content on your post on anything and they can find you.
No, yeah, like TikTok, I think, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me, but I believe they beat, I think it was last year, Google as far as a search engine, which is insane. And I personally go to TikTok when I'm trying to find something of how to do versus YouTube, unless it's like how to drive a stick or something. I'll go on like YouTube. But yeah, it's crazy that platform has now become a search engine. So it's very important for you to incorporate that in your content so that people can find it.
Yeah. It's crazy because I think it's just because it's shorter, right? We have such short attention span.
We really
no one
do.
really wants to watch a 10, 12-minute video or 20.
I know, we want content so quickly
it's like,
now.
just show me how to do it in 5 seconds, even if it took you an hour.
Yeah, no, and I think you can do 10-minute videos now.
Yeah.
And I think there's certain content that it's better to do longer form videos, but yeah, people want, like, short now, like, give me the answers.
Okay, I think we're getting a little sidetracked.
I know.
But I guess to end the video, what's something you would recommend or a tip you would give new businesses starting out?
I guess that would be to really hone in on who you are and find out what you want to convey to the public. And also, like, it's okay to, like, do, like, competitive search on other people to see how you can stand out and what you can offer in comparison to other people. I think that's important too. And stick to that. Like, whenever you're creating content, always make sure that your content goes back to who you are as a company. I think that's what makes good social media.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, when people are coming across your page, they know that, they can feel it. They're like, wow, this person always does this and that, and it'll convey through your content when you're sticking to who you are as a mission and values and your brand identity. So really like find out who you are, what you want to do, so that you're able to relay that across of your marketing efforts.
That makes sense. I think one thing we did while we were starting our business, our rental business together as a couple, I think we really emphasized that it was a couple business, right? Like a husband and wife business. And
that's great. I feel like that makes you guys stand out. Like it's like
right.
they're getting to know you guys on a personal level, and versus like a corporation that's like already doing photo booths. Like you guys seem more personable, and you guys would want to go. People would want to go with you guys instead of like a large company.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much.